Hi guys, welcome back. It's been a while. Happy New Year to you all out there. I hope you've had a lovely New Year and a lovely Christmas. I haven't been painting for a while. I've had a bit of back surgery, but it's okay now. I'm back to normal. A little sore, but look, we'll get over it. I can't wait to show you some new tutorials for 2018, and I hope you're all following me along out there. I'm very, very thankful for all your support. As I said, I hope you've had a lovely Christmas, and I look forward to teaching you some new paintings. Now, I have one here, it's all set up. I'm going to be showing you my mixing now at the same time, alright, just to give you a little bit of help along. It's much nicer when you can see me mixing as well. I have a picture, a sketch that I did up overhead, which you should see on your screen now. It's a nice kind of a wave crashing over, and it's just a nice simple little scene, just of a simple wave just crashing in on the sea, just to give you a little tutorial about that, and how you can create these very, very easily. It looks complicated, but it's actually very, very simple. It's just a series of steps, okay? That's all it is. So I want to keep it simple for you guys, all the beginners out there. So I suppose I will hook the camera overhead. I'll get that fixed in place, and we'll crack on with this, and we'll have a bit of fun with this, guys. This is going to be a nice one. So I hope you enjoy it, and again, Happy New Year, and I hope it'll be a prosperous New Year for you all out there, and you all continue to make fantastic masterpieces. Okay guys, so don't go anywhere. Okay guys, welcome. You should see the picture on your screen. Okay, lovely, lovely little wave crashing over with some birds, and I'm going to be showing you basically just how to create the kind of shadow on the waves just down here. Okay, the you know, the lights and the shadows, just to make it a little bit more realistic. Now, this sketch I did, it was only a small sketch. It took me about an hour or so. Okay, but I just want to give you a kind of a fairly detailed explanation on how it's done. All right. Now I have a canvas here, 16 by 12. I put a masking tape across the horizon line, just to give us a nice straight horizon line. So we'll paint the sky, and then we'll peel this off. Okay. And I did a very, very rough sketch here of the wave coming along, and that's all I need to do. Very, very, very simple sketch. Now I'm going to run through my colours for you. Okay, I have them out here. Now it looks like there's a lot of colours there, but we really only need a tiny, tiny bit of each colour. Alright, except the blue, I suppose. So I'm just going to name them out. We have titanium white, we have Naples yellow, we have cadmium yellow pale, we have phaylo blue, which is a very dark, rich blue. We have some cobalt blue. I have a tiny bit of magenta, just to bring a little pinkiness into it here and there, and a bit of cadmium red. So we can use these two reds now, guys, the pink and the red, to create different tones, with the two blues as well. I have a little bit of lamp black, just for very, very dark areas, and a touch of burnt umber, just a little. I only need a hint of burnt umber just here and there in the shadows, just to warm them up. So I just put it there to save me doing it later. Alright, so they're the colours. You can do this with one blue and one red if you like. You can alternate between the two. But I just put them there just to show you the difference that these two blues and two reds make, the different types of shades and tones you can create. Okay? Because I want you to really get the feel for painting a seascape. And when you're painting a seascape, there are lots of different shades of blues and pinks just here and there. Okay? The bit of yellow is there just for the light coming through the wave. We have Naples yellow as well, but the cadmium yellow is that bit brighter. It'll give us that bit of luminous kind of light coming through the wave. So that's it, guys. That's pretty much all the explaining. Oh yeah, I have linseed oil and turpentine. Okay, turpentine and linseed oil, 50-50 of each of that, into a small jar. A little jar like this. Okay, just a little, and that's my medium, and that's the only medium I use. I don't use any of these quick drying aids and impasto mediums, all that type of stuff. I just use this on its own, that's all I use. Nice and easy, nice and simple. So with that, let's start. Now, I am going to take my big green brush. Same brush that I use for every painting. Okay, this is a newer one. I got about 15 or 16 paintings out of the last one. So this is a new one. Cheap little brush, okay? Synthetics. I use mostly synthetics, I'll be honest. I just find they give you a kind of a smoother stroke. That's all, a smoother brush stroke. You can use bristles if you like for this. It's completely fine, it's up to yourself. But I just use synthetics. Now, I'm going to start off with the sky. And the sky, you can see, is a very pale sky. Little bit of blue on top, little bit of pinky kind of a grey on the bottom. And that's it. We're just going to keep it nice and simple because I want the focus to be on the wave. It's just a little study. We'll call it a study. Alright, people? So, I'm going to dip my brush into my thinners. Just a little, and I'm going to dab it on my tissue just to soak up the excess. So now I have a damp brush, okay? It's dampish. And I'm going to take some white, and I'm using a white palette here now, a paper palette, so you guys can see the colours properly. Well, I hope you can. Unfortunately, I'm still only using my smartphone for this, so you'll have to forgive me. I haven't become rich enough yet to buy a decent camcorder, so guys, this will have to suffice, I'm afraid. Okay, a bit of white and a little bit of cobalt. I'm going to stick with cobalt because it's a paler kind of a blue, and for the sky this is absolutely fine. So let's take a little bit of cobalt blue and some titanium white, mix them together, and what you want is a nice kind of a creamy kind of a mix. And let's start up here, pull that across. Now as well, I better tell you that I have primed this canvas twice after I bought it, and that makes it lovely and smooth, and it takes the bite out of the canvas. I just prefer the smoother canvases, I'll be honest. I don't like painting on very rough, dry canvases. Apart from anything, they can take a lot of paint off unnecessarily. Okay, I'm going to start putting some red into this now. I'm going to start using cadmium red. I'm not going to use the magenta, okay? I'm going to stick with cadmium red for this. And let's put this in here, and I'm blending this now up into that blue. So I'm softening that across. Now this is actually quite wet, you can see. And this is really, I suppose, it's like a background. I just want to get the background in so I can get some clouds going then after that. Now I want to start making this thicker. So I just went into my cobalt blue, cadmium red and some white. And I didn't use any thinners now yet, guys, okay? I thinned my brush at the very beginning and that's all I did. From now on, I'm just going to go into paint because the canvas is already wet, isn't it? So I'm going to start thickening up my layer here now. Start getting it a little thicker. There we go. Let's get some more pink. So a little bit more red, a little bit more white. And you can see now this is getting a little bit on the dry side, so I'm just going to dab the corner of my brush into the turpentine just to pick up a tiny bit. Just a little. And that's better. Now, let's take a little bit more blue in that. And I have a nice snow scene planned as well, guys, for after this. I wanted to do the snow scene first, but I said, look, just to get a quick tutorial in for the new year, I said I'll do this one just to show you how to paint a little wave crashing over. I really enjoyed kind of sketching this on the paper. By the way, it's just paper, the sketch. It's a canvas pad, which is very, very, very handy for using for sketching. Now I'm just taking a tiny bit of black there, guys, and mixing it into that, just to make it a little kind of a pinkish grey. I hope you can see that now. It's kind of a pinkish grey, and I'm just going to put a little bit of that in just here and there, just to sort of emphasize some, I don't know, some clouds and things off in the distance. It's going to be, as I said, it's going to be a very smooth sky. There's not going to be a lot happening in the sky at all. So now I'm cleaning my brush on the tissue. I'm just dabbing it on the tissue like this. Okay, giving it a clean. And let me see. I'm going to take a soft brush. Okay, what I like to call a blender brush. And it's really, guys, it's just a cheap powder brush that I bought in the pawn shop. In the ladies section, I have to say. In the ladies section, I bought this just for €1. I think it was €1 or €2. So I bought that, and it's very soft, and it's excellent for blending these colours together. See? And it doesn't leave any kind of brush marks or anything behind. There we go. Just like that. And I can see now it's starting to dry in already. It's only been primed only about an hour ago, so I didn't give it enough time to sort of dry in properly. So I'm going to take some more blue, a little bit of white. So I'm going to go on now with a little bit of thicker paint on this, just to cover that top edge. Because you can see it kind of creeping through. It's sort of where the canvas is dry and the primer is still a little bit wet. It's kind of soaking into certain parts rather than others. Now I'm going to switch to a smaller brush. Little small flat brush. It's a nicely worn brush. And I'm going to pick up some white. And I'm just going to go along and suggest 1 or 2 clouds off in the distance. I'm just coming horizontal across, just here and there, okay? There we go. And let's put, just trying to cover the bad parts of this canvas here now, where the primer is still kind of not perfectly dried in. And that's fine, that'll do. So how's she looking, guys? Yeah, I'd be happy enough with that, it's fine. Let's peel off the masking tape. And there we are. Nice, straight horizon line. Now, if we think this is too pink, we can always lighten it. We can just lighten it a little if you wish. We could just take some white, pick up some of the blue there, and just blend some of that through. Just pull it through. Just if you think it's a little bit too pink, which I do. So I'm just going to pull some blue on a dry brush just across that. And that will do, guys. That's good enough now for me. It's a quick sky, that's all. Now let's move on to the ocean. I am going to let me see. I'm going to keep this brush. Okay, I'm going to dip into my turpentine, and I want a nice separation in this now, so I'm going to put a very dark blue across here. So now I'm going to go into some cobalt blue, and you can see how wet that is now, guys. It's almost running down the palette, you see. But then when I pick up some white, it's going to thicken up, because white will always thicken the colour. And I'm going to take a touch of phaylo blue, which is a lovely ocean colour, and I'm going to take a touch of cadmium red. Now I haven't got into magenta just yet, because the magenta is very pinky. I want to keep that just for little bits of the wave here and there, okay? So a little bit of cobalt, a little bit of cadmium red, and some phaylo, and let's try this. And I think that's probably a little bit blue. So I'm going to take a touch of Naples Yellow, and then you'll see what happens. It turns into an ocean kind of a blue then. You see? And there's a little bit of green going through that, but that's exactly what we want. That's a lovely ocean blue. Would you agree? And by the way, guys, thank you all very much for your lovely comments, I have to say, because it really kind of encourages me to want to do better as well. When you guys are giving me comments, and if there's something you don't like, just leave a comment, and I'm learning from that then as well. So we're helping each other, aren't we? I think it's always good to have a bit of negative feedback every now and again, only if it's constructive, mind. Constructive feedback is what helps somebody do better, isn't it? You know, it's fine if you want to come on and say, I don't like it, but you know, at least make an effort to explain why you don't like it and help me learn a little bit as well. That's all I ask. Right, but look, it's all about having fun, enjoying yourself with it. Just going to another place for a couple of hours, take your mind off of whatever problems you might have and enjoy a bit of painting. Now guys, how's this looking here? I still want to go a bit lighter. I think it's a bit dark, just it's a little bit dark, I think, just around the horizon line there, maybe just a little. I'm just going to lighten that slightly. There we go. I'll take a little bit of cobalt blue with some white, and I'm going to just put some of that through here and there as well. And let me have a look. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. I think I might take a little bit of black, tiny bit of black. Now I'm not even going into the lump of black that's here. I'm taking the black which is on the palette already, because that's probably even just enough. And I'm just going to tone that down very slightly. If you think it looks a little bit rich, just pick up a little bit of that black, because the black will tone it down slightly. If you have Payne's Grey, that's fine as well. Payne's Grey will do absolutely fine. And I'm going to continue on now down with these mixes. A little bit of phaylo blue, a little bit of cobalt blue, some Naples Yellow, and let's take a tiny bit of white. And continue on down here, and I'm just going to go to the top of this wave here. Okay, just like that. And what I'm going to do, you see, I want to keep this dark for the splash of the foam, okay? But I don't want to keep it too, I don't want to go too dark with it. So I'm just going to go dark just around here, because I know there's a load of foam splashing up here, isn't there? So I'm going to darken it with a tiny bit of black just there. And I think maybe just a little bit here as well. All right. There we go. That's not bad. I might, just looking at it there now again, guys, because I keep my eyes keep darting around the page, or the canvas, should I say. I'm going to soften the horizon line just gently, okay, with the blender brush. Just very, very, very gently. And then clean it on the tissue, and then go back again. Because that hard edge is just not doing it for me, I'll be honest. So I want to soften that very gently off into the distance. That's a little bit better. So we have our sky and we have the top half of our water in. And now what I want to do is pick up my palette knife and just indicate one or two little waves off in the distance. So I'm going to pick up some white with this. Now there's a little bit of green here already. You see that bit of greeny blue? Don't worry about that, just go right into that. Okay. Just pick up a tiny bit of white and I have a little lip of colour just on the edge of the palette knife like that. You see it? There we are. And just here and there, straight across, just put in a little indication of a wave crashing over or something. You see? It just kind of adds a little bit of interest into the painting. That's all it is. And it breaks up this area as well. And let's put another one. There. Don't be afraid. We can always soften these with the blender brush again if we wish. No guys, that'll do fine. You see, I'm keeping all of this simple because I want the focal point to be on this big wave in the center of the painting crashing. Alright, I want to keep the rest of the painting simple. Now, I can see that this is starting to fade in slightly, okay? So I'm going to put one or two, I'm just going to suggest one or two clouds just across the top. I'll just pick up another clean brush, and I'm going to just pick up a little touch of titanium white, and just here and there, let's just bring out one or two of those clouds, just that little bit. Just to break up that sky just a little. There we go, and it's a very dry brush now. I haven't wet the brush at all, because the canvas is wet already. And let's put another one across here. So you can see now it's just suggesting a little bit of a cloud here and there. I'm just wiggling the brush from side to side. That is all I'm doing. It's really that simple. That's a bit better. Okay, put everything down. Right. Well, that didn't take too long, did it? Now I'm going to move on to the wave. And I'm going to start with this section here. There's a section here that kind of falls in this way, isn't it? It falls towards us. So I'm going to start with that. And I'm going to use the same brush I just used for the clouds, alright? And I'm going to dampen it slightly, and I'm going to dry it on my tissue, like that. So the brush is damp, and I'm going to pick up some phaylo blue, and I'm going to be quite dark with this now to begin with, but then I'm going to lighten it with some highlights. So I'm taking some phaylo blue, and I'm going to take some Naples Yellow, and that makes a lovely greeny ocean kind of a blue, doesn't it? You can use cobalt blue with Naples as well, but it will be just a very lighter shade. I find this is a lot more intense with the phaylo blue. So it's equal amounts of each. And I might take a touch of burnt umber as well. And that'll really green it up then, like, you know. And let's put that in. I'm just dragging the brush down here now. Okay, now I'm just kind of glancing backwards and forwards. I have this picture up overhead where you can't see now, but I'm just kind of glancing up and down at that. I'll take a bit more phaylo blue, I think. I'll take a touch of cadmium red. So I'm kind of trying different mixes now with this as I go. That's all I'm doing. And what I'm doing with the brush now, guys, is I'm pulling the brush at a curve like this. So the direction of the wave will be indicated by the brush stroke. So I'm using the brush stroke to show you at home, or anybody who's looking at the painting, that the wave is falling towards us like this. Does that make sense? I hope you're following me. It is very, very simple, guys. You see, I'm curving the brush around. Then I'm going to pick up a little bit of black and a little bit of phaylo, and I'm going to go really dark, and I'm going to pull it across. See, now you can begin to see the wave falling forward, can't you? And pick up a little bit of cobalt blue. And these are all dry colours now I'm putting into this. They're not wet at all, okay? I'm just picking them up from the palette directly, and I'm blending them on the canvas. And that's the fantastic thing about oils. You can blend everything on the canvas. You don't have to mix everything first. Okay, let me see. Now, I'm happy enough with that. There's going to be lots of white foam here in front of this. So I think what I might do now is just take my pointy brush. I'm giving this a little clean and a little dry here. I'm going to take my small pointy brush, okay, little detail brush, again synthetic, and I'm going to pick up some white and a touch of cobalt, tiny touch of cobalt. I'm going to make a very, very light blue, a kind of a sky blue, let's say. And I'm just going to, here and there, curve it over, look, you see? Pull it around, little flicks. And I'm going to go along the top with some nice crisp white just here and there. 1 second, now let me just get this hair off the brush. Little dab here and there to suggest some foam along the top of this wave, which is just about to crash. So you can see now, guys, how easy this is. I'm just pulling the brush around and flicking it around in circles. And another bit along here, like that. And it'll all make sense shortly now once we start putting extra little highlights and stuff on this. It'll make sense. Okay, now I'm not going all the way down because we have a lot of white foam, bright splashy foam here, so I need something dark to contrast against that, so I'm not going all the way down with this white. Okay, what I might do is take a little bit of Naples Yellow with that blue that's up there already, you see, and just put a little bit of that through it, and that'll almost give you the impression of the sunlight kind of catching this wave as it's coming over, if that makes sense. Just a bit here and there. I might even take a touch of cadmium. Let's try a bit of cadmium, will we? Yeah, that seems to work a bit better, doesn't it? A lot of this is kind of trial and error as well, guys. Okay, I'm going to hit some really dark colours now in this, some phaylo blue and some black, and I'm going to get some shadows as well. So a little bit of dark colour just here and there. Remember, it's all about lights and shadows, a painting. A painting is just about lights and shadows. Okay, I know composition helps, but I think in general, when you have lots of shadows and lots of lights in a painting, it really kind of comes to life, doesn't it? Now, there we go. I'm cleaning my brush again, and I'm going to pick up some of that white, some nice crisp white, and I'm going to pull some of that over here. And let's get some of this foam really kind of forming now on the top of this wave. There we are. And I mean, just kind of play around with the brushes really. Try different things. For example, I could, if I wanted now, to say, for instance, I could take a fan brush, okay, a bristle fan brush, and a little bit of white, like this, okay, just a little bit of white on the brush, and just here and there, look, just put a little dab of it. You see, and that kind of suggests, that makes the water more, makes it look like it's kind of splashing a bit more, doesn't it? So we leave that for now, just for now, okay? I just want to leave it as it is, and I want to concentrate on this big wave here. And I suppose the best thing to do with this is to just take some of that colour, some wet colour, and draw the outline roughly. So I'm just going to roughly draw this. So it comes up and it comes over a little bit here, and it falls off then, doesn't it? And we'll stop it about here. We'll cut across it then around there, yes? And we could even go higher. We could go higher, I suppose, if you want. Now, so I'm going to use the same brush, guys, that I just used for that. This smaller flat brush. And I'm going to start with some nice luminous colour here, just in the centre of that wave. So I'm going to take some cadmium yellow, some Naples yellow, and a touch of cobalt. I want to keep this bright, so I'm staying with cobalt for this. And let me just get some of this in, just a little. So you can see now we have this lovely luminous kind of a colour where the sun is going to be coming through. And then into that I'm going to start mixing some cobalt as I go. And I'm softening this in now very gently. And notice my brush strokes with this now, people. My brush strokes are going down here this way, because that's the way the water is going to be falling, isn't it? It's kind of swooping down like this. So I'm swooping the brush like this as I go. And it's very dry, there's no thinners in this now whatsoever. Let's take more blue. And it's going to get really blue then as we move over here to the left. And let's take some cobalt with some phaylo. And there we go, now it's getting blue, isn't it? And the same on this side. So it's beginning to take shape now, isn't it? I hope. And let's just wet our brush again, a little wet, dab it on the tissue, and let's take some phaylo blue and let's take a little touch of magenta. Let's try a bit of magenta this time, with a touch of Naples. And you see, that's very luminous now, isn't it? Nice, luminous, rich kind of a blue. And all these colours are mixing together now nicely on the canvas. Blending them all in. And I'm going to take some cobalt into that. One thing I noticed about the cobalt is it's a very sort of opaque kind of a colour, isn't it? So it really kind of thickens up your mix, I find. So cobalt with white. And I'm going to come along underneath this other wave which is splashing along and soften all these together here. So it's just different stages, you can see what I'm doing, it's just different stages, that's all. And I'll take some phaylo blue again, with a little bit of black in it. And I'll darken this side down here because it's going to be dark underneath that wave there that's kind of crashing in front of this one here. It's going to be very dark underneath that foam. So just softening all these colours in. And what I'm going to do then is take some black, some really dark colour, so some black and a touch of burnt umber. And I'm going to come along here. Now there's black in here, isn't it? Right under this kind of wave where it crashes, there's a bit of black. And it comes along down under here. You see? And I'm softening this now into the brown, into the blue, I beg your pardon. Into the blue underneath this, I'm going to soften it down very gently. And just up to here. Making it lovely and soft. And it's going to disappear down into the wave, into the water here. And I'm going to put a little bit over here. I'm just keeping this simple now, guys, for you at home, okay? I do hope you're able to follow. A little bit here. So now, that's what I have so far. So I give my brush a quick clean on the tissue. And I think now I might move to, let me see. I might move on and do this area here. So I'm going to make a very, say a shadow colour now for a wave, we'll say, for waves crashing, the foam. So the shadow colour for the foam now is what I'm going to mix. I'm going to take some cobalt blue, some titanium white, and I'm going to take a little touch of, let me see now, a little touch of brown perhaps, and let's try this. That's not a bad colour, I would say. So I'm going to blend this across now, little circle motions all the way along. And I'm going to cut up here, fill in all this white here now, guys, okay? There we go. This is just the shadow of the wave. I'm going to be putting some white now over on top of this. So I'll give my brush a good clean on this tissue here. I'm getting all this excess off. Okay. And I'm going to go into some white. Now there's already a bit of blue mixed with the white here, it doesn't matter. So just go for it. A little bit of white. And I'm going little circular motions, and I'm bringing it down on a curve, you see? And this is a kind of a work in progress now. This takes time. So I'm going to keep dipping into my white and create that kind of water splashing over. And this does take a bit of time now, guys. So take your time with it. I'm just creating the shape of this wave here now. That's what I'm doing with my brush strokes, okay? And creating the direction of the water. And you can do this with a small pointy brush if you as well if you like. It doesn't have to be with these big brushes. So after each time I do this now, I'm wiping my brush on the tissue, just giving it a little clean. And I might pick up some of the whitey yellowy colour there and put a hint of this in there as well. There we go. And I think at this stage now I will move to a pointy brush to get some little detail on top of this. So I'm going to go along and add some highlights to the top of this. You see, all these little highlights help. They give it some life. And I really do hope now, guys, that you're trying this at home and you're just giving it a go, because really this is as easy as it looks. It really is. Just don't get disheartened if you don't get it right the first time. It takes practice. It's like everything else, you have to practice. You know, don't be afraid. Just get your brushes out. Just give it a go. If you don't succeed, you can just put everything away and try again in a couple of days. Just do not be afraid to try it. Okay, I'm cleaning my brush and I'm going to pick up some of that black and I'm going to go in under here and create some areas of shadow under. I'll take a bit of blue as well, just under this kind of wave, this bit of foam here. Okay, let's take a bit of phaylo blue, a bit of black, and see, we can sharpen up these ones here then as well while we're doing this. And that's coming along nicely, isn't it? Now with this wave up here crashing over, I'm going to switch to my fan brush just to keep it easy for you out there. I'm just going to switch to my fan brush and I'm going to go into some white, I beg your pardon, some white first. So pick up a nice dollop of white now on your fan brush and I'm going to go up along here with this and I'm going to form the shape of this. So I'm going to start up here. Okay, I'm going to bring it down like that. And it's going to kind of blend over then into this one here, you see? Let's go a bit more. And I'm going to go up here now and flick it off. You see? Create the movement of that wave. Clean your fan brush again. Take some fresh white. And let's go off up to the top here again. And more white again. And you could even just dab it, look, you see? Just dab it if you like. And this is just creating the foam on the top of this wave. There we go. You see how easy that is to do now with the fan brush? It's so useful for these kind of things. It really, really is fantastic. Let's get a little here. Oh, that's not too bad. And let me get some more white, because I've run out of white. There. And I'm going to go in there now with my pointy brush, my detail brush, give it a quick rinse. And I'm going to pick up some white, some nice white. I might even pick up some Naples Yellow, just a touch of Naples Yellow, and that will give you a very bright kind of a vibrant white. Okay, it's always a good idea to add a little touch of Naples to your white if you want a really bright white. Now, and you see, I'm just going to put it in a little couple of flicks here and there, and I'm going to define the edge of this as well. You can see. And I'm trying to keep this colour now nice and clean. So I'm keeping it away from the blues on the palette. And I'm going to put a little bit just along here. That. And I'll curve this now just a little bit more here. There we are. And put a couple of little wiggles of the water kind of coming down here. And it's taking shape. You see, slowly, bit by bit, it's taking shape. And most of the time, really, guys, I'm kind of just dabbing little bits here and there. And look, we put a little bit of a wiggle down here to show the water kind of running down. And it's breaking off then, almost like a tree branch. You see, kind of breaking off. And just a little kind of couple of flicks just here and there. And this is just giving it some life and some movement. You know, it's creating movement for the water. And that's what it's kind of all about, really, just creating movement. So let's put a couple of little flicks up here. And I'm not being perfect at this now, it's just for the tutorial. It's just to kind of give you an idea of how to kind of create a foam and kind of create a wave kind of splashing over, you know. It's just a very quick tutorial. I could spend another 2 hours doing this, but I don't want to. I just want to give you a quick, easy tutorial. And I hope I'm achieving that. I really do. And let's take some more Naples. With some of that. A little couple of dots just here and there. I might just bring that over a little bit more on this side. There we go. And then put a couple of little flicks of paint just around here. And this is just neat paint now on its own. No linseed oil, no turpentine, nothing like that. And I come down here and I will try and get some more highlights on this guy. So the light is coming down from the sky this way, guys. It's kind of hitting the water here and there. And I really want to get this nice and luminous just in here. So I'm going to take a little cadmium yellow and a little white. And I'm just going to put a hint of that just through. I'm only pulling the brush now, flicking the brush down. I'm doing it quickly now because I'm not used to painting very, very slowly. So I'm just giving it a couple of little flicks down just in this spot here. Okay. You see? And that really gives the impression of the light coming right through that wave, doesn't it? It might even be a little bit on the bright side on the left here. I might darken it slightly. So I'm just going to take some cobalt blue and I'll pull some blue just across here, just a little. And you can see that's toning it down a little, isn't it? Now what I'm going to do is take some burnt umber with some black, and I'm going to just go in under there and create a really strong shadow just along this edge, because the shadows will really give it some life. Okay, I might put a little bit around just here. There we are. Just in here, I really want that nice and dark, you see. That's it. So it's coming on nicely, isn't it? It's kind of, it's taking shape, it's evolving in front of us as we add all these little details in. And you kind of, it's always good to stop every 10 minutes and step back and take a look. And you can get a better perspective on it. And you can see what needs to be put in, if a couple of shadows, extra highlights. It really helps to stand back every now and again. So I'm going to put some ripples in the water now, just down here, with some titanium white and some cobalt blue. And look, just put a couple of ripples just here and there. And talk nice and softly when you're doing this. Really helps. There we go, just like that. And by the way, guys, I was thinking about changing the name of the channel to something that would relate more to what we're doing. I think calling it maybe Easy Oil Painting or something like that. You know, if you have any suggestions out there, please do share. I would love to hear what you have. So I was thinking about that, maybe just calling it something simple as Easy Oil Painting. You know, just a thought. It's just a thought. Now, let me just lighten this in here. Just again, I want to really get that that brightness in there. Let me take a bit more Naples. Okay. Now we can do more work on the back of this as well if we want, if we wish. If you're kind of happy enough with it as it is, then just leave it. But I will probably continue messing around with this one in the back for a while later on when I finish the tutorial. You know, just adding extra highlights in. In fact, I might switch to a flat brush and take some white and even take a bit of this yellow. Okay, and just here and there, just lighten this a little bit on the top edge. All right. Yeah, just there. And that kind of helps, doesn't it? Now, and again, like that, now I might take a bit of brown with some black and just deepen some of the shadows on the shadow side here, you see? Just make them that little bit darker. Yeah. Looks a bit better, I think. Now, right, moving on, we will cut in front of this now with some nice colour. And for that, I'm going to go back to my slightly bigger brush, which I had at the beginning. And I'm going to mix some cobalt blue with some titanium white. And let's make a nice mix of this here now. A little bit of thinners. And it's kind of slightly, it's almost kind of a slightly grey now at this stage. I'll take a touch of magenta. I know Tomasz out there, if you're watching, you will love magenta, won't you? Tomasz is another artist, he's a friend of mine, and he loves all these kind of colours. So let's just fill this in now, and I'm going to take some phaylo blue with a touch of black just for this side, and I'm going to sort of soften that then up into that colour above it, just very gently, look, see, very, very gently, so it almost flows into the wave. And as I said at the beginning, I hope you've all had a good new year. It's been very quiet, I thought. I didn't do much, I just took it easy. I was resting up with my back, so I didn't go out or do anything like that. So I hope you've all had a good one. And it's 2018, guys. 2018. And this is the year when I'm going to make it. Well, I hope. I'm sure if I keep telling myself that, it might happen, but we'll see. We will see. Now, here we are. So I've softened everything now up into this wave. And I'm going to pull some of this down. There we are, see? So it's all become one, hasn't it? And I'm now going to take a little flat brush. Now guys, for this part of the painting, I use a brush which is very flat and pointy when it's wet. So basically an almost new kind of a brush. Now these are only cheap brushes, so I could buy a box of 5 of these for say 5 or 6 euros, maybe 10 euros. So these are cheap brushes, but they have a lovely flat point on the top of the bristle when you put paint on it. And it's perfect for doing these little wiggles, which I'm going to show you now. So I'm going to dampen the brush very quickly, dry it, and take some titanium white. And let's take a touch of cobalt blue. So I'm going to start off with this tone, and I'm just going to put a couple of little wiggles, look, just here and there. You see? And I'm just kind of showing the highlights on the water as the sun's coming down, catching the water as it's moving about. That's kind of what I'm trying to achieve, I suppose. So little wiggles, that's all it is. Very simple. And it kind of just helps. It just gives more interest to the water. It makes it more interesting to look at. It just adds all of these different highlights and lowlights into the painting. There we go. I'm not going to go up in here, I want to keep that dark. And again, as I was saying earlier, it's like painting branches of a tree. So one will come down, this I show you, one comes down like this, then another one breaks off of that, then another one breaks off of that. So you can see. And then I want a very bright area here to reflect this. So I'm going to take some Naples Yellow, just a touch, with lots of white. Okay, and I'm going to put lots of that then just in around here, because I really want to show off this reflection here. Okay, I hope I'm making sense. And if you want, in fact, what might be nice as well, we could even put a little bit of this yellowy kind of a colour in there as well, if you want, to reflect this. Okay, so we'll put a little bit in just here and there, just a touch, because it's water, so it's going to reflect. There's going to be all these colours running through it. And I hope you can see that now, guys, because my camera is not the best in the world, I'll be very honest. I hope you can see the colours. I hope they're coming through okay on the camera. If they're not, I do apologise. I really, really do apologise. Now, just get some more white. And then switch to the small brush. Okay, switch to our smaller brush. And let's take some neat white paint and let's put some real nice highlights in, just here and there. A couple of little wiggles, little couple of dabs here and there. It all just adds a little bit of interest to the painting. It's not painting anything in particular, but it's adding elements of interest to the painting. And the more you do, the more life you're going to get on the painting. So you can just keep going, adding these little ripples, nice bright ripples in here and there. Just don't overdo it. Just, I suppose, like everything else, you need to know when to stop, don't you? So I think I'll just leave it at that. Maybe put one or two just in around here. Okay, like so. And I might darken just that black a little bit more. So I'm going to take some black and some burnt umber, and I'm going to just pop some in just there in those corners, just here and there. What I might do is take some magenta with some phaylo, a little bit of white, and let's put a little hint of pink, pinky, kind of a purpley pink through here and there as well. And that's adding another bit of colour to the painting, isn't it? So, you see, everything helps. Alright guys, I think all we need to do is work a little bit more on this splash here. So the front of the splash is going to be much brighter because it's catching more of the sunlight, isn't it? So I'm proposing I take a touch of cadmium yellow, and let's take a lot of white, and let me just get some fresh white here now guys for this. Okay, just a little bit of white. Let's take a touch of cadmium yellow with plenty of white, and let's get some real bright highlights here on this foam. That's a bit better, I think, isn't it? And you could even put some dark in it if you wanted to. It doesn't necessarily have to be all white. You could put a little bit of shadow on this side if you wanted that. In fact, I might just do that. I'll just to show you the difference it makes. Okay. Let me just take a bit here, and let's just pull a bit around here like this, and then take some darker colour, and let's put some darker on this side. There you go. That's not too bad, is it? So guys, that's kind of pretty much it. I will continue now working on more highlights and more shadows. I will kind of go in and I'll just add little tiny details of shadows just here and there. You see, look, just like that. And you know, all these little tiny shadows will help. But again, remember what I said, don't overdo it. Because if you overdo it, there's a risk of ruining the painting. But this was just kind of a quick tutorial just to show you how to paint a nice wave crashing over. A nice kind of a simple study, we'll say, of a wave crashing over. Nothing too difficult. But definitely give it a go. There's only one thing left to do for me now, and that's put in 3 birds. Let's stick in 3 birds, will we? Let's put one here. So 3 seagulls. And put one down here. And then clean your brush, take a tiny bit of black and make a nice point on your brush, and then just on the tips put a little flick, okay? And the last one, and then in the middle 2 little dots, and they're the little legs hanging down, aren't they? So there we are, 3 seagulls. Now you can, if you wish, you can add more into the background. You could add more to the waves in the distance if you want. Just bring them up a little bit more. You see, you can do as little or as much as you like. Okay, it's just to show you how you can do that. So let me take the camera down, guys, so I can speak to you and you can see me when I'm talking. So it won't be a sec now, just let me undo all these wires here from microphones and what have you. There we are. And let me unhook this and let's have a look. So that's a nice wave now, guys, isn't it? Nice wave crashing down. A nice simple tutorial on a wave crashing down. And with that, thank you so much for watching, and put a like there, subscribe for all the new videos coming up in 2018. I'm going to have some lovely tutorials come up in the next couple of weeks, and the next one is going to be a lovely snow scene on a big square canvas. Well, not big, but it'll be a square canvas, and it's going to be a lovely warm snow scene, just to show you how to get warm colours in a snow scene as well. Alright, so keep painting, guys, keep painting, keep practicing, and leave a comment. I love the comments, good or bad. Just remember, if you're going to leave a bad comment, be constructive with the comment and help me to learn, alright? I like your advice as well. So have a lovely new year, guys, and I will see you very soon again for another tutorial, and God bless and thank you for watching. Okay, so I'll see you next time. Goodbye.